Hi everybody, and welcome to Cycling Guys 2024 UCI World Tour Racing Predictions. My aim is to bring you more and better, starting with the first stage race of the season, the Santos Tour Down Under, which for this edition features 6 inline stages. Historically, it's been an Australian affair, with home riders winning 7 out of the final 10 editions, with 3 wins for Simon Gerrans and 2 wins for both Richie Porte and South African Daryl Impey. In terms of rider type, it's the all-rounders on the punchy climbing end of the spectrum who tend to do well here. Last year's edition was won by Jay Fine with 11 seconds over Simon Yates and 27 seconds over Pello Bilbao. The racing starts on Tuesday, January the 16th with a 144k stage where the riders will tackle Mangler's Hill twice. There's a few steep bits in there, yet at 3.8% average it should not trouble the versatile sprinters. On stage 2, things are getting a bit more serious, 142k to cover, and they start climbing straight out of the gate with a 10k 5% average climb. So whoever's aiming to take the overall home here needs to be alert, because this is fantastic terrain for a break to form. The stage continues going up and down and features nearly 3000 meters of elevation gain. The most notable feature is the Fox Creek climb, which they'll cover thrice, the final time with less than 20k to go. It's a short ascent, yet it gets steep, averaging 9%, so opportunists on the punchy end of the field may be trying to get clear here. This is Alaphilippe territory. Stage 3 also starts climbing out of the gate. This opening climb is the only one featuring notable gradients though, so expect the sprinter teams to control this 145k kilometer stage. At 136k and mainly flat, also stage 4 should go to the sprinters, with the only climb of the day being under 4% and cresting with over 50k to go. It should not bother any of them. On stage 5, the word moves to the GC men. The finale of this stage, which features Willunga Hill twice, is a classic in the Tour Down Under. The riders ride to the finish at an average gradient of 7% over 3.6k. Looking at the 10 editions where this stage featured since the Tour Down Under joined the World Tour circuit, we've seen the following winners: Ventoso, Valverde, Simon Gerrans, and 6 times Richie Porte, who got beaten on last year's edition by Matthew Holmes. Other notable names who came close here include Esteban Chavez, Ulissi, Daryl Impey, Wout Poels, Armirai Storer and Dylan van Baarle. Often there's none or only a handful of seconds between the winner of this stage and second place, yet it will highly likely be the stage where the GC gets decided, given that I don't expect the winner of this stage to get dropped on stage 6. This combined with the lack of an ITT makes this Tour Down Under perfect for a punchy rider. And while stage 5 will have given us an insight as per whom are the guys to watch for the overall win, stage 6, which covers Mount Lofty thrice, will be decisive, 2.7k at around 5% average. Also last year they had a stage ending atop Mount Lofty, and these were the riders finishing within 10 seconds of each other. So to summarize, without knowing the actual race situation, we're looking at 3 sprint stages. A stage for the punchy guys and 2 GC stages, with the Willunga stage potentially going to a punchy rider who may well take home GC in the process. The sprinters field is relatively weak, so expect some less obvious names to feature in the top 10 on the opening stages of this Tour Down Under. Here's an overview of some of the riders lining up with previous experience in this race. Note there's no former winners lining up. We do have former podium finishers though, namely Ben Swift back in 2011, Simon Geschke, 3rd in 2020, Diego Ulissi, 2nd in 2020, and notably Simon Yates, last year's runner-up. On top of these riders, we also have Phil Bahaus, Caleb Ewan and Elia Viviani, who managed to win stages here in the past. This being the first World Tour race of the season, there's little to no recent reference as per individual riders' form. From the cyclocross season, we've learned that Mathieu van der Poel looks stronger than ever, yet he's not lining up here. Betting odds were not yet available at the time of recording, yet that being said, here's the riders to watch in my book, starting with Soudal Quickstep, whom are lining up here with Alaphilippe. He's had 2 horrible seasons, and for long it looked like he'd leave the Wolfpack. He maintained their trust though, and will be eager to prove them right. He has expressed that one of his main goals for the upcoming season is the Ronde van Vlaanderen, yet personally, if he's firing on all pistons, I do like his chances here. At Ineos, I expect them to set up for sprint wins with Viviani and potentially a surprise attack by Ganna. He'll lose too much time to the GC contenders on Willunga Hill, with no ITT to make up for it, so I don't see him taking home the race. At UAE, Covey will be pinning on race number 1, yet in my book the route suits Ulissi better. In the more sprinty stages, expect Hodek to mix it up for the top 10. At Visma Lease Bike, I'm expecting Milan Vader. He's back into form after his crash and ended 2023 on a high, winning the Tour of Guangxi. At Bahrain, I expect Jack Haig's targets to fall later in the season, and newcomer to the team, Nikias Arndt, finds a parcours here that should suit him. He climbs well and has a fast finish. And for those pulling together a fantasy cycling team, don't forget Bauhaus amongst your fast men. I'm not expecting too much from the EF team lining up here, and at Bora, Zwiehoff should be the one riding for GC. He's had solid climbing results last year, yet I'm doubting his punchy qualities on Willunga Hill. Besides him, also watch Sam Welsford for the sprint stages. At Movistar, Ruben Guerrero did well here as a youngster back in 2018 and 2019, while Ivan Garcia Cortina is one to watch for the fast stages. I'm not expecting too much from the Groupama FDG squad lining up here, and at Astana, it will be interesting to see what Battistella can do on GC. Personally, I consider him an outsider for the top 10. Also keep an eye on Canter for the sprint stages. Then, the team to watch here, racing on home soil, Chaiko Alula. From their lineup, you can see they're taking this race serious, with Ewan for the sprints and Simon Yates undoubtedly the main favorite for GC, 7th in 2020 and 2nd on last year's edition. Besides him, Lucas Plapp also can't be ruled out. Then, I'm not sure what to expect from this little Trek team. Personally, I'm not expecting too much, unless Quinn Simmons or Tess Fassion can surprise. The same goes for Alpecin de Koning, who's sending out a team of youngsters. Then, I do like the Israel Premier Tech team lining up here, George Bennett and Corbin Strong for GC and Boivin for the sprints. Somehow, I'm expecting more from Strong as the upcoming man than from Bennett. At Intermarché, it will be interesting to see how Girmay comes into this season after not having been able to confirm his 2022 form in 2023. He's their biggest shot at success down under in my book, given that I'm not seeing real GC contenders. Clément Berthet at AG2R had a solid 2023 season, 16th in the UAE Tour, 15th in Paris-Nice and 11th on the Tour de Suisse, tells me he has an outside shot at the top 10 at this Tour Down Under. His lack of a fast finish may be his undoing though. DSM is lining up with a bunch of young and promising riders, with Oscar only the most promising one in my book. He may be missing the sprint finish to contend for the top spots, yet he surely has the climbing legs. And in this field, Lipins should be a top 10 contender for the sprint stages. At Arkea, they're lining up with McLeay for the sprints. On GC, I'm not expecting too much from them, yet as usual, I stand to be surprised. For Cofidis, Milan Fretin should be mixing it up in the sprints. On GC, I'm not expecting too much. Geschke has been on the podium here, yet the days he carried that form seem to have gone. And then finally, we have Team Australia, who'll be backing Michael Storer, whom unfortunately never did really well here. All that being said, in my book there's only one 4-star favorite for this race, and that's Simon Yates. Alaphilippe, Milan Vader and Ulissi get 3 stars. Strong, Guerrero and Plapp get 2 stars. Only Zwiehoff and Storer each get 1 star. And in terms of podium prediction for the 2024 Santos Tour Down Under, I'm going with a win by Yates ahead of Vader and Ulissi. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and see you soon for my Tour Down Under stage predictions.